So, this has been a problem for quite a long time. As my projects get bigger and bigger, that can tend to leave my channel with a drought of content that can last for weeks, or in worst cases, months. And as you might or might not have been able to tell, that hasn't been the best for my channel's health. Yeah, these days YouTube as a platform seems to want mass-produced content that can only be done by things like huge teams, companies, or outright machines, which is why those animated en masse finger family things make so many more views than people who put in genuine passion and work all day and night on videos they only produce once in a while. And this has been a problem that has existed for a very long time now. A large portion of my original growth could probably be blamed on the fact that when I started uploading, I was uploading 3 videos a week. That was actually insane, and I don't recommend anyone do that. However, on the flip side, I can't ignore that doing the big, huge videos once every month works only for JonTron and no one else in history. So here's what we're going to do. If anyone's been paying attention, you probably noticed that my channel's health hasn't been the best. It isn't like in free fall or anything, but it's been in stagnation for a very long time. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna try to have my cake and eat it too. Nothing about the big projects are going to change. You're still gonna get videos like Animated Atrocities and the finale of Admirable Animations with Soul, and a bunch of other big projects in between them. On the flip side though, every week on Tuesday I'm going to be uploading a video that's just like this. It's going to be somewhere between 15 and 25 minutes of me just talking about a topic, usually about animation or storytelling or media in general, although I will probably branch out to other topics. The only way that this is going to work, though, is if I take a more minimalistic approach. It is the editing that bogs down my videos more than anything else. So we're going to be taking this with a more podcast style. The visuals will be minimal, so feel free to listen to this while you're tabbed over or something else like that. So with that being said, we need a good topic to start with on this Tuesday, and I think that a good topic of discussion is one of everyone's least favorite tropes, the Chosen One. People have asked this question a lot. Why do people keep using Chosen Ones? Or alternatively, can the Chosen One ever work again? I think that we all know what this one is. A random person has been destined to save the world. That's usually how the story goes anyway. It can be because of some kind of prophecy, or they have some kind of special lineage. They could be the son of someone famous or powerful. We've seen it in video games, movies, books, not just in a wide array of media, but some of the most famous works of all time. Harry Potter, Star Wars. It's a plot trope that dates back to even mythology and religion. King Arthur is a Chosen One story. The Bible has a lot of Chosen Ones within it. Needless to say, it's quite ubiquitous. And when something gets extremely ubiquitous, people tend to get tired with something. For a while, people want to see this sort of thing in media a lot. They demand more of it, until it gets everywhere, and then people get tired of it and it falls out of favor. These kind of things work in cycles. The difference is this one kind of took like 1,000 years to get to this point. Star Wars and Harry Potter had strong cultural domination, and each one of them are Chosen One stories. I mean, the appeal of a Chosen One story is obvious. Everyone wants to feel special, and the Chosen One hits that right in the gut. Just out of nowhere, it has been determined by fate that you, and only you, can save the world. It's wish fulfillment at its most basic form. And most big budget media really feeds on that escapism, selling you a fantasy, a world to escape to, or some kind of importance. I don't know if everyone wants to rule the world as the old song goes, but I do think that everybody wants to save the world. It's not so much that Star Wars makes you feel like Luke, but it gives you the idea that one person can stand in the way of an evil empire. It can be even more minor than that as well. Some kids, for no reason whatsoever, were chosen to go to Hogwarts, like Hermione. Like with any trope really, you can turn this on its head and make it be about anything. We have seen a darker, more sinister aspect of the Chosen One plot before. A lot of dystopian science fiction uses the Chosen One aspect, and basically has people destined to do a specific job for their entire life. A good example is the first episode of Futurama, which everyone is basically slotted into their perfect job for all of their life, which is something that they dropped and never brought up again. Personally, I have a lot of problems with dystopian science fiction, but that's a story for another day. My favorite example of the Chosen One story comes from the Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind, also known as the best Elder Scrolls game. Skyrim can suck it. Spoilers for Morrowind, by the way. Actually, maybe I shouldn't give a spoiler warning. It's a Bethesda game. The only reason that anyone plays any of the main quests in an Elder Scrolls game is because they're forced to do an increasingly large and annoying parts of it at the start, or because Bethesda locked a desired item behind it like the energy weapons bobblehead in Fallout 3. Seriously, I must have played Morrowind for 1,000 hours before I even considered playing the main quest of Morrowind. And to this day, the energy weapons bobblehead is the only bobblehead that I have yet to get, because doing the main quest is usually pretty antithetical for what you're looking for in a Bethesda game. In short, yes, I would rather get the bobblehead in the Deathclaw Sanctuary than the one that is locked behind the main quest, and I have gotten that one several times, and I have yet to get the energy weapons bobblehead because it is locked behind the main quest. Rule of thumb, the more a Bethesda game forces you to play the main quest, the worse the Bethesda game actually is. But back to Morrowind, back on topic. Like I said, it's a Chosen One plot, but it's actually a really, really good Chosen One plot, because some of the game's characters think it's just as bullshit as you might. So the idea is this: the native people of Morrowind believe that one day an ancient hero named the Nerevarine will save the world and get those dirty Imperial colonizers out of their country. There are 7 trials, or signs, and whoever you choose to play, you already meet a part of that description. That being that you're born under a certain star sign and you don't know who your parents are. That's the first trial. But the characters make it clear. A lot of people don't know who their parents are, and quite a few of them are born under one of the star signs. So you might be this chosen one, you might not, and honestly, as the player, you have a choice to make that's not really within the game itself. You can choose to decide that yes, you really are the chosen one, or you can go along with the game's plotline just thinking it's all hogwash anyway, and the game supports both points of view. One of the trials is that the chosen savior cannot be destroyed by the Corpus disease which ravages the land of Morrowind. However, you do end up catching it, and get cured by a very strange mad scientist wizard with an extremely experimental treatment, which ends up making you immune. But you weren't naturally immune, so you could play it either way. Either this disproves the prophecy, or it proves it. Even when you finally decide to take the name of the chosen one by the gods of the game, you get to talk to a bunch of others who also decided to take the chosen one name and kinda failed at their task. It's not so much a deconstruction of the story, but it has a much more realistic tone to it. Characters talk and react to the Chosen One prophecy like people would in reality. Some people think it's just tribal superstition. Some people straight up think that you're a heretic. Much of the game's main plot is about gaining people's trust and proving that you're the Chosen One, which is something that's very refreshing for a Chosen One plot. And it's something that puts it in stark contrast to Skyrim, which just outright says that you're the Dragonborn. There's a lot of things you could do to make the Chosen One story work. I don't think that any trope is completely dead, as in it can't be used in some way, even if it's only to deconstruct it. Instead of a character being chosen to be the hero to save the world, you could have a story about someone who is a chosen one to destroy the world. I can imagine a very powerful story about some innocent kid being told that they're prophesized to destroy the world and basically kill everything they love, while the bad guys strive to capture them. Even the heroes treat them with disgust over this. Nowadays, people seem to be more on the Lord of the Rings side of things, rather than the Star Wars side of the things. In Lord of the Rings, Frodo is the one who chooses to bring the ring to Mount Doom. In a sense, he is the chosen one, because he's really the only one who could do it. Frodo is an everyman without any great powers or purpose in his life, and that's exactly why he has to be the one to take the ring to Mordor. Gandalf can't do it because he is too powerful, and he knows that he would wield the ring darkly. Throughout the movies, we see what other characters would do if they were in Frodo's place. And there's another reason people don't like the Chosen One plot in this modern day and age. People kinda don't like the idea of someone getting something special by birthright. It's definitely not something that's overall appealing to a modern audience, and I can really see why. In the 21st century, it has quite a bit of social and political baggage. And not to mention that right now we're in a very deconstructed time in media. Every single story archetype must be deconstructed. We must take every single trope and storyline and see how it would really fare when placed under the pressures of reality. And that usually means making it dark and gritty, so dark and gritty that it goes beyond the realm of plausibility. That seems to be the rallying cry of culture right now. If this happened in reality, the Chosen One would either be so pressured that they'd crack, or they'd be a spoiled brat demanding everything be just given to them. I mean, let's ignore the fact that not every single royal, the closest thing to a Chosen One in reality, has fallen into those camps. But yeah, it can be one of those things that's hard to stomach. We're in a grown-up time, and the Chosen One can come across as very fairy tale. It's too perfect, too story. And a lot of the reason for this has been nitpicky internet jerks. Yes, I do have a mirror, thank you. But I think this is also just a phase that things go through. We start at something that's silly and clearly fabricated like Full House. This leads to a deconstruction with The Simpsons, which leads to a response by Family Guy, thinking that The Simpsons is too tame, which leads to a response by BoJack Horseman, which believes that the former is too frivolous. And soon, we're going to get a response that believes that shows like BoJack Horseman and much of the grit in modern media is too dark and depressing, and we're going to get something more happy and optimistic. And then eventually we'll be back at Full House again, especially because happy and optimistic media tends to thrive in actual real-world depressing times. And depressing media thrives when things are socially well off. For the past 20 years, media has been more focused focused on dealing with existential themes, things that people only really think of when they don't have immediate everyday worries. When back in the 1930s, when most people were not doing very well and had to do desperate things to earn some kind of money, comedies were the main form of entertainment. I don't think that we'll ever really be done with the chosen one plot. I don't think it's one of those tropes that you could kill. Most stories need a protagonist, and there needs to be a reason that they are the protagonist, but going forward, I do think we're going to have more chosen one stories based on choice rather than chance, where our characters don't become the chosen one because some seer said that they'd be a superhero. They became a chosen one because they decided to stand up and say something, or stand against whatever evil, leading them to a similar hero's position, where they're the only ones who could save the world because that's the place they put themselves in. And that is our first topic of the week, or Topic Tuesday, as I'd like to call it. Hopefully this will be a fun little discussion every week, and won't burn me out horribly like doing 3 uploads a week did way back when. If you did enjoy this video, please leave a comment, remember to like, share, and subscribe, and ring the bell, because apparently that does something. There's still great debate on what it actually does, but everyone says to ring the bell.